thanks. How are you, Mark Simone?
Good, but I'm very upset with Twitter. I don't like they started fact-checking people, and their idea of a fact check is they put a link to a left-wing website like Politico or CNN. How is that a fact? And all they quoted, could the mail-in ballots lead to fraud? CNN says no. They've never run an election. What would they know about it?
No, I know. And, I mean, you can get news, lest any non-conservatives or non-Trump supporters listening think that Mark and I are crazy. Politico is actually better than CNN. They do print real news. It's like the formula for a conspiracy theory. You mix truth with falsity. So there are a few things that are true that lure the conspiracy theorist in. You can get true facts on CNN and Politico, but when it comes to something highly charged, such as vote by mail. It's just, let's just go to vote by mail before attacking Twitter. No, let's attack Twitter. And the president. Well, this is why I've been mad at the president for a long time for not switching over to Gab. Twitter is, as we've been warned for years by Robert Epstein, liberal Democrat who voted for Hillary, but he's, I don't know, some sort of science type. I don't know what is it's not economist. I don't know what
it is. I ever heard you at a loss for a word. That's the first time in a million.
Do you know what he is? They have all these fancy titles. Anyway, he runs all these studies. He's been published many, many times, places like New York Times and Wall Street Journal. And he's done these studies. You may have heard of the movie, the Creepy Line. It's about how Google and Twitter and Facebook can affect voting and how they can swing hundreds of thousands of votes. And they've done all these studies. They're really quite persuasive. So this is kind of a big deal. Twitter going in and fact-checking only conservatives, well, right, thus far, only the president's tweets, where in this case Twitter is provably objectively wrong. It is a way for Democrats to steal votes. If the reason Twitter is huge right now, I mean, it's been losing money since it started, lots of money, hand over fist, it's because candidate Trump went on Twitter. He saves Twitter, in addition to, I might add, the New York Times and cable news stations, because they went hysterical when he came along. Why hasn't Trump moved to the Twitter alternative? Why hasn't Trump gone to Gab, which is just like Twitter, except they won't censor you. Tell
everybody what it is, though. Where do they go to sign up?
It's Gab.com. It's as simple as Twitter. The downside at the moment, and this is why we need the President of the United States to go to Gab. I have an account. I've had an account there for a long time. But because Twitter was the first, it's kind of a natural monopoly. I have millions of followers on Twitter. I don't know. I haven't been to Gab in 2 years. I mean, as you know, the point of Twitter is to annoy liberals, is to gin up your base, is to, tell jokes. If you're telling jokes to 20 people, who cares? But if Trump moved to Gab, everybody would move to Gab. It's such a simple thing he could have done.
I like that. Hey, I'll give you a simple example of we've had fake news, but now it's like no journalism of any kind. Like Governor Cuomo makes this order to send everybody into the nursing homes with COVID-19, kills 10,000 people. Then he actually says, I was just following the federal guidelines. There's no such thing. It's just an out-and-out lie. Have you seen any journalist follow up on that or look at that and say he was lying?
No, you're right. You're right. And not only that, he sent out a tweet at the time bragging about his non-discrimination policy. If you have COVID, we'll put you back in the nursing home because we are proud non-discriminators. It reminds me of this tagline that you see on any help wanted ad. We are an equal opportunity affirmative action employer. Wait a second, those two directly contradict one another. Affirmative action means you discriminate on the basis of race. equal opportunity means you don't. So which one is it? In any event, he sent out a tweet at the time bragging about not discriminating. He has deleted that tweet. Have you seen any news about that?
No, and he deleted the original memo from the state website yesterday, pulled down the original order. It's not there anymore.
No, it's stunning what Democrats can get away with our media, which I repeat, return to my point. The media does have to be destroyed, taken out back, shot in the head. It's utterly unethical and useless. Actually, an activist force.
You know, and Kayleigh McEnany made a great point when they kept asking her, why is church an essential service? Why is religion an essential service? Why? They were screaming at her. And she said, how come you never asked why a liquor store was an essential service? This is typical liberal Democrats. They're stunned that anybody would call religion an essential service. They can't believe it.
No, well, I'd go after the cannabis clubs. If they're, don't touch my liquor stores, Mark. But I will say about the churchgoers and yes, liberals and Democrats are being fascistic, and it is silly and not science-based to be pulling people off the beaches or making young, healthy people wear masks, running or biking in the park. There is a lot of silliness going on. Oh, and there's a reason for that. Democrats want the economy to crash. But I would like to say to my fellow churchgoers out there, don't want you guys dying. Not that I want anyone dying. I really don't want Christians dying. So please don't make a big point of hugging, kissing, and singing. Yeah, go to church, but still do your social distancing. If you can hold the church services outside, you should do that. Probably may as well wear masks. It's a confined space. You're all sitting, looking forward, listening to the same guy. But I wouldn't, in a response to the excesses of the left, engage in your own excesses, because I don't want any of you, well, forget dying, even getting sick. Hey, did you see this Politico article? Why these shutdowns are going on forever? I tweeted it out yesterday. Politico article talking to all of these Democrat officials, including former officials with the Obama administration, saying their main worry is they're terrified of this, that when the shutdowns end, the economy will bounce back.
Well, but you got Governor Cuomo. You got Governor Cuomo and Mayor de Blasio. I don't think you have to worry about the economy bouncing back here. Of course there's a political component to the shutdowns from the Democrats' perspective. And also, I mean, it's an extension of a point I've made before that every social dysfunction, every tearing of the body politic is always a victory for the left. A woman had a child out of wedlock. Fantastic. We got another Democratic voter. Oh, an illegal alien ran across the border. Fantastic. We have another Democratic voter. A kid committed a crime and went to prison. Fantastic. Another Democratic voter. A couple got divorced. Fantastic. We got another Democratic voter. Every bad thing is good for the Democrats because then more and more people become dependent on the government, as with these shutdowns. So, although I'm telling churchgoers and actually everybody listening to Mark Simone, you should be careful in confined spaces, in crowds, and close contact. You should wear a mask until, and I don't think the vaccine's coming soon. Give up that one. All right, but watch Connecticut. Watch Connecticut. They've been open for a week now. Let's see if give it one more week.
Well, Connecticut. How about Georgia, Florida, Arkansas? A lot of these states have been. I mean, of course we could be opening up now. Don't get me wrong. I'm not suggesting we continue to shut down. And the media are just lying about the numbers because they keep throwing out. One thing to look for is they throw out cases. Don't care about cases. Most cases are asymptomatic. We care about that.
Which is a lagging indicator, by the way. It's a number from 3 weeks ago because it's who had it 3 weeks ago.
Right.
We're out of time, but Everybody go to check out Ann Coulter's new website, anncoulter.com. All kinds of stuff up there, video, audio, great stuff. anncoulter.com. Follow her on Twitter and follow her on, it's gab.com, Gab.com.
Yes, though, like I say, we really need a few prominent people to go there and start posting their stuff for enough people to move over to it. That's
check her out on Twitter. And get her book. And a new column comes out tonight. And Ann Coulter, thanks for being with us.
Good to talk to you, Mark Simone.
All right, take care.
We will make America great again.